recap quickly. I had bought a non-running Craftsman Honda lawnmower for 25 bucks a few weeks ago. After fixing all the problems, I got it to start and run smoothly on a single pole. I then sold it for 140 bucks, but the buyer also had a non-running Craftsman lawnmower, so I bought it for 25 bucks again. Guys, I've always wanted this Milwaukee drill and impact combo, so I used the lawnmower profit to buy one. First, let's check on the air filter. Look at that. That's pretty bad, just like the last lawnmower. It seems the air filters never get changed in lawnmowers. With lack of air supply, engine can't run optimally, so let's swap in a new filter. Now let's check on the spark plug. I'm using 21mm deep socket. Looks like the plug is coated with oil, so I suspect the oil is overfilled. But the plug tips look pretty good. I need to order a new spark plug, but I want to get this running right now. So I'll just clean and remove some carbon and oil deposits. Now let's check the oil. Oil is dirty for sure, but to my surprise it's actually not overfilled. In any case, let's drain this and refill with fresh synthetic oil. Now let's take a look at the carburetor. I already removed the small cover over the top of the carburetor. Now let's remove 3 small bolts that are holding the air filter housing.
Okay, these screws, bolts, were 5/16.
Remove 2 3/8 inch bolts holding the carburetor and then unplug the fuel hose. It's in there pretty tight, so I used a screwdriver to push it away. You can also clamp or tuck away the fuel line to minimize the fuel spill.
Okay, looks like I have to pull this out. Spring disconnected. Okay, this top little screw is a 1/4 inch. Okay, and then just gotta unhook it from there. Okay, so I had to take it out of that hole. This bolt at the bottom of the carburetor, it's a 1/2 inch.
By the way, this bolt acts as the main jet and is the most problem area to get clogged, which blocks the fuel delivery to the engine.
Actually, not bad compared to the last lawnmower that was all gunked up with the varnish. This is actually in pretty good shape. Just gotta clean this up as I'm working with carburetor. I don't want all that junk to go inside, so I'm gonna first clean the outside, then clean the inside.
I'm gonna remove the gasket carefully before I soak this in a Pine Sol cleaning solution so that I can reuse the gasket.
Okay, so I got some engine degreaser. So I'm gonna try to clean the outside first.
Spray the cleaner liberally and then scrub with a brush. Now the outer surface and the fuel bowl are cleaned, and I noticed that one of the Welch plug had popped off. That bolt that came off the bottom of the fuel bowl is the main jet, which gets easily clogged and makes the lawnmower hard to start. So I'm gonna spray some throttle body and carburetor cleaners first, and so I'm gonna use a tiny needle to poke through all the small holes to unclog them. Here I'm checking to see if the float is moving up and down freely. This is what's controlling whether the gas is entering the carburetor or not. This float is not getting stuck, so that's a good sign. But let's remove it and clean it since we have the carburetor taken apart. Again, I'm using the carburetor cleaner to clean the float, especially the hole where the pin fits through and the needle pin. Now, using a small needle, Poke through every little hole that you can see. It's important that you get to every single hole checked and unclogged. Otherwise, your lawnmower will not start or it'll be hard to start. Using a carburetor cleaner will help with the cleaning and unclogging. It's pretty unusual to see this Welch plug pop out on its own. It's usually plugged in there pretty tight, and I don't have another one handy, so I'm just gonna pop this back in. This carburetor was only slightly clogged compared to the last one that needed really deep cleaning. So with the carburetor all cleaned, let's reassemble everything back together so we can give it a try. Now reverse the uninstallation steps to install the carburetor and make sure the spring hooks back to the exact same hole, and make sure the gasket is seated properly to prevent the gas leak. Before you install the carburetor, try to clean all the debris near the mounting surface. Guys, it's very hot out here in Houston, but I found a small shaded area to work. Let's see if it starts. Hooray! Another lawnmower saved, but I'm not done. This lawnmower still has several problems that must be corrected to be in good condition to sell. Although my main interest is in doing DIY repairs and documenting them in YouTube videos, I still need to sell these things to make room for future projects. But I'll only sell when all the repairs are done properly and it's reliable and safe to use. The blades look dull and out of balance, so I took it off to sharpen them and to check the balance. By the way, I'm loving my Milwaukee tools, guys. This lawnmower required a lot of work. Definitely, I only took on this work for the love of DIY repair as a hobby, and certainly not for the tiny profit. I scraped and sanded all the rusted spots and then gave it a good wash in preparation for painting. This required me to remove several parts as well. I also had to do plastic welding on a dry belt cover that was broken, and I made it stronger than the original one. I also made a separate video on this, and the link is in the description below. Since the lawnmower can get very hot, I'm using a high heat paint that can hold up to 1200 degrees. Also, one of the folding arm screws was missing, so I bought the OEM replacement. Here's how she looks. What do you think? All the repairs and improvements I've made would cost more than $140 at a shop. But I'm not counting my labor hours, as I enjoy doing these DIY repairs, and I think it'll be a good value $140 lawnmower for someone.